Welcome back, crafty friends. It's Alicia of the Call Me Crafty Al YouTube channel, and I am back today with a process video on how I created my card for yesterday's Sweet Treats collaboration hop with Memory Lane keepsakes. In today's video, I use a new to me product called Duralar to create my clear shaker pocket. And you'll see it in the video, but what I did is I colored my image and then I cut a piece of Duralar and kind of wrapped it around like a pocket on that image, and then I filled my sequins and closed up the third side. Now, this was my first time trying this, so I'm sure as I use it more, I will get better at it. I think I did my pocket a little too tight, so I kind of have a bubble in here, but this was fun. And I like the lighter weight of this clear plastic and the fact that you don't see any sealed edges like if you use the fuse tool. So I definitely hope to be back with more shaker cards using this. I will be showing what other products I used in the video and giving you some tips and some measurements as I go along. But if I don't answer something and you have a question, make sure to leave those in the comments below and I will answer you back just as soon as I can. If you enjoy this video, at the end I hope you'll give it a thumbs up. Let's get started. Here are some of the supplies that I used for my project today. First up is the ADORNit Make-A-Wish Art Play coloring book. Then I grabbed my colored pencils that I got on clearance at Hobby Lobby, some sequins that I thought matched the paper that I'm going to be using for my background. And that paper is from one of the newest die cuts with a view pads from Joann's. And I do have a flip through of that, so I will link it below. These little coloring books from ADORNit are perfect for cards like this. They come pre-printed on watercolor paper, so you're able to use lots of different mediums to color these. I pulled out a few that included a sweet treat and selected the one that said Happy Birthday Cupcake. I started pulling some colored pencils that I thought might look good with this pattern paper, and what I did was just color just a little bit on the back of that so I knew what the colors would look like on that paper. Once I had my colors chosen, I grabbed my odorless mineral spirits and poured just a little bit in that square plastic container. I don't like to leave the bottle open. I'm already in a basement where there's not much ventilation, and sometimes it worries me. But I just started coloring here, and since I will be blending with the blending stump, I only colored like the top and then one side of each of those brown sections. I'm not a pro at this blending at all colored pencils, so I'm sure that you can find some awesome tutorials here on YouTube, but I am going to go ahead and just show you how I do it. Once I have blended one color all the way, I then use that piece of sandpaper on the stick to kind of sharpen it, and it gets rid of any color that is left over. Next, I'm going to be coloring the frosting on the cupcake, and I wanted it to be a nice, bright, cheery cupcake, so I chose to color that in yellow. What I did was made circular motions around the outside of the frosting, and then I went to each of the little circle sprinkles and just colored around that. And then, of course, I went ahead and blended. Once I had colored the frosting, I kind of realized that there wasn't much else to color since the letters didn't have open spaces to color them in. So I decided to bring some more color into that piece by coloring each of the dots in the background. And I thought, oh, those kind of look like sprinkles. So what I did, I went with each of the other colors that I had chosen to color with and just kind of did a couple squiggles outside each one, and then I went and blended that color out. And here I'm just showing you how I did that with each different color. And here is a little close-up of the finished colored piece. Once I had the image colored, I went in with my scissors and just cut around that image. There's kind of a border there, so I would have less white space on the outside, and this would also allow for more of that pattern paper to show later on the card front. I'm going to be cutting down the pattern paper to 4¼ inches wide by 5½ inches tall, so it will cover the entire front of that card base. When I put my colored sheet up to the pattern paper, I thought it needed a little separation, so I pulled out a piece of blue cardstock and I cut it so that it was about 1/4 inch bigger all the way around from the colored image. And now is time for the experiment. I pulled out my sheet of duralar, and like I mentioned before, I bought the 3 mil, so there is thicker duralar that you can buy. I didn't really know what I was going to do here, so again I measured my image and then I cut the duralar 1 inch bigger on all sides. I thought I would try to score the duralar on 2 sides at 1/2 inch in from each edge. I thought this might help later when I went to fold it around my focal point, but I think next time I would just skip this and just fold it around the piece itself, because honestly once I pulled the duralar off the score tool, I could not even see where those lines were. Before I could start making my shaker pocket, I went ahead and I folded the duralar around the focal piece, and I got all 4 of my folded lines ready to go. And then you'll see me go in here and snip the corners off before I do my final adhering and folding of these, and that is just to reduce a bulk on the shaker pocket itself. If you are a sewer, you kind of know what this is just when you make folds in your fabric. I adhered down 3 of the 4 sides, and now it is time to make the shaker pocket. I tried to pull out sequins I had that went with the pattern paper, and I was not able to do anything like micro beads or glitter with this shaker pocket just because of the way I made it, because if there were holes in the corner, that stuff would have fallen out. So once I had all my sequins in there, I went ahead and put adhesive on that last flap, and then my pocket was ready to go. And now it is time to go ahead and finish the card up. I will be adhering my shaker pocket to the card front with the foam tape, and you'll see me here decide to go ahead and complete the card front before I adhered that to the blue, just so later I was not trying to add adhesive to the back of a piece that had foam tape. This will be a top fold card, so my white cardstock is cut to 4¼ inches wide by 11 inches tall. Once I have the pattern paper on that card front, I pulled the backing off the foam tape and finished this card up. I hope you enjoyed that tutorial on how I created my latest card here for the Sweet Treats collaboration using the adorable ADORNit coloring pages. If you did, again, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. As always, thank you for stopping by. I hope you're having a crafty day.